So about 2 months ago, I was in a live stream and I was talking to you guys about how one of my friends, Jeff, let me know that he talked to a Creed rep and they said that there was a brand new Creed fragrance for men that was coming out around fall between August and November. And they didn't have a name at the point in time, but about a week ago, we found out through a leak that it was called Creed Centaurus. And I already knew it was going to be in a colorful bottle. I talked to you guys about that. And while I'll put the bottle on the screen during this video, it's not the coolest looking bottle, at least based on the pictures. But we're going to be talking about my first impressions. I just got this decant in. While it is not released yet, I did post a link to a website from a guy who does have some of the Creed decants. And so we're talking about my first impressions of Creed Centaurus. So we're going to be doing that today. Without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude. Thank you guys so much for joining me for yet another first impression of a brand new release that I just got in today, about 20 minutes ago, and just sprayed it on my hand about 5 minutes ago so I could get a little bit of a feel of the dry down. And I gotta say, this is something special. With that said, before we get into the first impression of it, if you like my content and you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Everybody else, hit that like, takes 2 seconds, comment below. Let me know if you've tried this out, if you want to try it out. Again, Creed was bought out about a year ago, and since then, they've released like 4 fragrances, 2 women's, 2 men's. This is the second one. They had also Absolute Aventus, which I liked, just didn't love enough to buy a bottle for $3.50 or whatever it was. And that was a limited edition. And apparently they're coming out with a third Creed, which is kind of like a cash grab, it seems. It's a triple aged batch of Absolute Aventus, and apparently that's coming out later this, like in 2 or 3 months. But this one. So again, about 2 months ago, I heard from Jeff that they were coming out with a new Creed. It was coming out, it was going to be a fall version of Creed, and it was coming out between August and November. He heard November, I've heard August, like late August, so it's sometime in between there. And at this point in time, it is not released yet. But one of my moderators, Newt, thank you, he reached out and said, hey man, I just want to let you know, one of these guys on Facebook who does also have his own decant site, he got some of the Creed Centaurus in. So if you want to buy a decant, and so I shared it all with you guys. If you want to go to my community tab, it's on there. He sells 2 milliliters for $16, and I got a 4.5 milliliter for $26. But this is my first impression of Creed Centaurus. Again, I told you guys a while ago this was going to be one of their colorful neon style bottles, most likely. And it is. Except for this one's a little bit darker. It is like a maroon. It doesn't really look that nice, at least in the picture. And then it has like a goldish cap. But it's not about the bottle, even though with Creed's kind of is. But I'm going to spray the opening again on my hand and let you guys know what this fragrance is all about. So this stuff is actually really freaking good. It's really good. It's not going to be for like your heavy niche snobs though. I can tell you that for sure. Because if you're one of those people that is like really one of those like does not like designers whatsoever, this does have a semi-designer feeling to it. It is higher quality. It does not feel as synthetic or anything like that. But I can tell you, this does have a mass appeal factor to it, which I know some people don't like. Especially when they get new Creeds, they complain about it. This, so far, I have nothing to complain about this. So when you first spray this on, you're immediately hit in the face with this gentlemanly spice. It has black pepper, cinnamon, and cardamom mixed together. So you do get this warm, spicy tone. The cinnamon is the most prominent, then the black pepper, and then a little bit of the cardamom underneath that. And then on top of that, you get this dry tobacco and a little bit of a dry fruity accord, which I don't know. I don't remember dried fruits or anything like that being in the note breakdown, but there's definitely some kind of dry fruity accord. And as soon as I sprayed this on 5 minutes ago, immediately I texted Newt and my other moderators and I said, this reminds me of something. It's not exact, but what the only way that I could really put this opening into perspective is to say it's a gentlemanly, dry tobacco heavy niche version of Spice Bomb Infrared. So take that kind of cinnamon, spicy tone and then amp it up, make it more like natural feeling, and then add a little bit of this dry, fruity accord, like again, that you get from Infrared, and then add in this spice and a little bit of this like geranium maybe, and add that underneath, and then on top have this dry pipe tobacco. That's really what it reminds me of, is a gentlemanly niche version of Spice Bomb Infrared with this pipe tobacco heaviness on top and a little bit of dried fruits. Oh my goodness, this is good. If you guys have ever tried that one that smells like Infrared from Happy Land, this has a little bit more of a vibe of that, but again, neither of them has that dry tobacco. It kind of has the dry tobacco from Stronger With You tobacco from this year, but it doesn't smell like any of them. This one is just very, very beautiful. It's a very nice, and again, it's not going to be worth $400. So don't go, and I am not, when it comes to any creed, I'm not really paying $400 because I already know in 2 months it's going to be on Venba Fragrance or Fragrance Buy or something like that for probably $80 to $100 less. And so that's what I'm going to be waiting for. I already talked to the owner of Venba. He's going to be taking a look and making sure as soon as it comes out that he will get some in, just like he got Absolute Aventus in 2 weeks after it came out. So just keep an eye on that. So after the opening, once this starts to dry, again, I'm only at about, 10 minutes. It hasn't changed too much, and I wasn't expecting it to. But there is a little bit of a bourbon vanilla pulling in. You can tell there's a slight bit of like a semi-creamy smokiness that's pulling into the fragrance. You do get a slight aromatic tone and a little bit of almost what feels like jasmine to me. I don't know if that's in the note breakdown or not, but it's just what it comes off to me. But it's very nuanced, and so it's not something that really plays a huge role in this fragrance. Again, don't get it twisted. This fragrance is a tobacco spice. That's what, at least at this point in time. Again, we're at about 10 minutes. The opening still has that fruity tone, but after about 10 minutes, that fruity tone starts to dissipate. It might be the heliotrope mixing together with the spices that's bringing that fruity tone, but I'm still going to say there's some kind of dried fruits in this. But anyway, as it starts to dry, you get even more masculine, because this is definitely not a unisex fragrance. I would not expect a woman to wear this. This is a gentlemanly, high-quality, masculine gentleman that is wearing something that's going out at night. It's definitely built for mass appeal. You have that spice, you have that gentlemanly quality, a little bit of an aromatic tone, and then you have that nice pipe tobacco over top. This is going to be great for a cool night out, 50, 40 degree weather or less. I could see you actually wearing this maybe in 60 degrees or less, but not above that. But it's very beautiful. I can sense a little bit of the bourbon vanilla coming in and a little bit of that Tolu balsam, giving it a slight bit of a woods. But yeah, it's very, very nice. This reminds me of another tobacco fragrance that I've smelled before. And it might be Cuban tobacco, but I can't quite put my finger on it. What I do like about this is that unlike other mass appealing niche fragrances that are out there that use tobacco, like Tobacco Vanille, Parfums de Marley Herod, those are more on the simplistic side where they really focus on 2 to 3 notes. This one does have nice variances, especially in the opening. It has the dried fruits, it has the spices, but 3 different types of spice. It has a slight little bit of a green aromatic tone underneath it. It has that dry pipe tobacco, and then it's already starting to nuance that dried fruits away, and you're getting a little bit of bourbon and vanilla coming in. So I can see this drying very, very, very good. But overall, at least in this first 10 to 15 minute period, it really just comes off like a gentlemanly semi-spice bomb with a little bit of extra black pepper, a little dried fruits, and that dry tobacco over top. And I think it's a beautiful fragrance. I'm going to give this overall, just based on the opening, Again, this is my first impressions. I'll come back in about 7 days after wearing it 3 or 4 times, letting you know my full review, but I'm going to give it a 9. I'm going to give this like an 8.9 to a 9. I think that it is great. It is exactly the style of spicy fragrance that I like. It's the exact amount of tobacco without being too much tobacco, which is what I really enjoy. So I'm really excited to see where this dry down goes. If you want to know where the dry down goes, come to my next live stream. I'll probably talk about it on there. If not, you'll see my full review. But yeah, let me know if you've tried this out, what you guys think about it. I can't give you the performance or anything, but I mean, spices, tobacco, it's cinnamon and tobacco heavy, just with nuanced differences throughout the opening 10 minutes. Very, very nice. So that is Creed Centaurus. So thanks to Newt for putting me on to getting that decant. Again, if you want to find the decant, go to my community tab and then look at that. I think it's like 2 or 3 days ago. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. See you later. Peace out.